Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop. And we got some crazy we actually have a good amount of leaks for y'alls, right? So yeah, in terms of 361 degrees, they have a lot of tech, you know what I mean, in their new shoes that are coming out. So we got the Joker 2, which I'm super duper excited about because the Joker 1 was one of my favorite hoop shoes for the past years. Just the Joker 1 GT especially was super duper nice, right? Also, we have a leak of the AG6, Aaron Gordon's signature shoe. The Aaron Gordon signature shoe line has actually been pretty dang nice. And then of course we got the AR3, we got the GT cut. Oh man, the GT Cut 3 looks terrible, you know? And then also we got the Jimmy Butlers, the JB4. Of course, he signed with Li Ning, so... And also the KT11. The KT11 should be coming out soon, right? So, yeah. And also, just a quick update for you guys. The LeBron 23, we do have... Shout out to Conqueror 21, right? But, yeah, we have an image of the actual drop-in midsole from the LeBron 23. So it is a drop-in midsole. They are using Zoom X, full-length Zoom X for the drop-in. So I'm super duper excited about that. I'm very curious as to how it's gonna feel. But also we do have a carbon fiber middle chin plate underneath that, right? So yeah, the LeBron 23 is gonna be pretty dang insane. But also, let's get it started right off with the KT11. So Klay Thompson's signature shoe line with Anta has been very solid, you know? And the KT11 seems very interesting. I feel like they're kind of dialing back on the stiffness of the KT10 because the KT10 had a more like stiffer feel. You know, the upper and also the bottom of the shoe had a pretty stiff feel, you know, which again, it's not a bad thing. It's just like how it feels. And if you like a little bit more of a stiffer feel, I'm sure you like the KT10. But with the KT11, for some reason, it looks like it'll be a little bit more flexible, especially because of the upper. The upper looks like a really nice knit material. You can see some open panels where it has really good ventilation, you know? So that actual knit material looks really nice, but also extremely thin. But one thing I don't like, however, is the cage. Look at this. The rubber comes up on the sides, like on the lateral side, caging the entire midsole. And then in the heel, we have a little bit more of plastic. Like the plastic is probably gonna be pretty stiff, so it's probably not gonna have a crazy amount of compression for the actual midsole, but we have yet to see what the actual foam is going to be, because you know they've been using N2 foam, full-length N2 foam for pretty much every single Anta hoop shoe, but lately they've been using A-Shock Pro foam. So hopefully they don't use A-Shock Pro foam because I think it's a little bit too soft and not great for impact protection. But if it's using full-length N2 foam with a soft mesh show board, it's probably gonna be very nice. And also here in the back of the shoe, like in the back of the heel, you can see how caged the actual foam is as well. We got the number 11, we got some plastic, and also we got some years, you know what I mean? And also we have a little bit of plastic as well, I guess kind of acting like an external heel counter a little bit, you know? But in terms of how it looks great though, you know what I mean? So there is the KT11. Next we got the Joker 2. So the Joker 2 looks freaking crazy, guys. And it's a crazy low shoe as well. So we got this kind of like mismatched black, purple, and pink colorway. But it's a little bit hard to see because it's like a black material, you know? But we actually have two other colors. We have like a gray colorway and also kind of like a Joker colorway, pretty much like purple, deep purples, and like that Volt color as well. So as far as the outsole goes, we have a very thin herringbone traction pattern. So one thing that I don't like about it is that the grooves are really freaking close together. So that'll probably, you know, trap dirt and dust and pick up dust pretty well. So hopefully it's not terrible on dust, because the actual, like the regular Joker 1 had pretty, not the best dust performance. So the Joker 1 GT was a lot better because of the RPU, you know? But the regular Joker 2, they're probably using just regular rubber, right? But also we have this crazy design. What is this design though? You know what I mean? Like what? It doesn't look like the anatomy of the foot though, like as far as like bones go. I don't know what that is, you know? It might actually be a rigid polyurethane. It might not be rubber. Maybe it's a different material. That actually would be very cool, but probably it's just rubber though. Probably. But if they had like RPU or like a mix of RPU and the rubber, that would actually be very cool. But again, very unlikely that they do that. But also, if you can see, the rubber outsole comes up pretty much caging the entire midsole as well, just like the Joker 1, which I'm not a huge fan. Look at this, guys. Look at all that cage. However, you know, they probably are using quick CQ Tech foam, right? So quick squeaky tech foam is very soft. So if you have it exposed, it's like you don't want it to be too thick. So I understand why they do that, but not a huge fan of that, right? Also, it looks like a one booty upper too. Also, it looks like the tongue is kind of like attached to the upper, or maybe it's like a burrito style tongue. I'm not 100% sure. I can't really tell too easily. Maybe I'll try to see from a different angle. Huh, like looking at the medial side as well. No, it looks like a one booty upper actually, right? But yeah, they are using very thick rope laces, and also the laces go into the actual upper a lot, and it reminds you a lot of like Adidas, like old school Adidas hoop shoe designs as well. You know what I mean? But also we do have like it looks like a customizable lacing system a little bit with the holes, but I guess not, because the eyelets, it looks like they're just cables. You know what I mean? And the cables probably go through the upper a little bit as well. We can see the Joker logo here on the side of the shoe too. But yeah, again, it looks like a one booty upper with like, or maybe like a burrito style tongue almost. You know, the upper looks like a pretty nice material too. Like it looks kind of thick, but very soft, you know? And also the shoe is a low top, but also has a pretty high heel tab where it comes up pretty high in the back of the shoe as well. So yeah, I actually like how it looks. It looks pretty dang unique. It also reminds me a lot of like older Adidas hoop shoe models, you know what I mean? I can't put my finger on it. It looks like a hardened, like a budget hardened shoe to me. I can't really think of what the name is though, but it almost does look like that, you know what I mean? But anyways, that should be coming out soon, so I'm super duper excited about that. And then of course we got the AG6. So the AG6, we know what the actual kind of like tech is gonna be as well. So we got a full-size TPU system, it says, which is just plastic pretty much, and it's just caging the foam. We got the Aaron Gordon personal logo on the side. Full-length C-Flow custom midsole. So C-Flow is brand new, right? Oh, I'm guessing it's brand new. I don't really follow their running shoes or anything like that. But in their hoop shoes, it's brand new. I haven't seen C-Flow. So C-Flow, I'm pretty dang excited about. It says grip is high durability. It's a high durability rubber outsole. And then we have a mid-foot arch stabilizing torsion plate. And then a soaring zone bounce area. So I'm not 100% sure what that's supposed to be. But look at that traction pattern. That traction pattern looks like the BYWs. You know what I mean? So maybe 361 degrees hired some Adidas designers or something. I don't know. But this shoe looks like a little bit of the Curry 12, but also the equalizers. You guys remember the equalizers, the 247s? Very solid hoop shoe. That kind of like plastic piece looks very similar to the 247. You know what I mean? So yeah, we do have a good amount of colors. We have like what is this? The Buzz Lightyear colorway, which actually looks pretty dang cool. And then we have a simple black and white colorway as well. For the upper, it looks kind of stiff, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that'll be good for support, of course, and Aaron Gordon needs a lot of support. And also, we have the foam and that plastic piece on the side of the shoe acting as a sidewall for lateral containment. So we have that. So that's good. And also, for the heel tab, you can see just how well padded it is. And also, because it is a high heel tab, it'll probably be very easy to put on as well. So yeah, I have no doubt the cushioning setup is going to be very nice, but we'll have to see on how the overall shoe feels. And then next, of course, we got the AR3. So the AR3, I mean, we already knew what it was going to look like, but these are actually like official images, you know what I mean? So yeah, it has a herringbone traction pattern for the outsole, but then we got like an arrow, or like a triangle shape coming from the forefoot going all the way here into the heel, and it kind of follows the AR logo a little bit, you know what I mean? But mostly it is herringbone. So yeah, just like the AR1 and the AR2, the AR3 is probably gonna have good traction, but the grooves are actually really thick, so it'll probably be very good for durability. Hopefully the rubber compound is very good, right? The upper looks kind of stiff, you know, it looks like they're using a bit of like synthetic material, like a synthetic leather material, especially on the lateral side, like in the forefoot, you know? So that kind of comes up. They also do have a pretty interesting kind of like lacing system as well. So that'll probably help with overall support and lockdown in the forefoot too. But then we do have a mesh material in the toe box. And then on the sides, we have this kind of like crazy plastic piece. It almost looks like teeth, you know what I mean? Like a jaw, like a dragon jaw or something. But that's like on top. I've actually never really seen that design, but it's on top. And it cages the cushion a little bit, it looks like, or is that rubber? I'm not 100%. Actually, no, that's just rubber. But it's also on top of the sidewall for better lateral containment and lateral support. it doesn't really look like any of the foam is exposed. Oh no, on the medial side you can actually see the foam a little bit, and it looks like it looks a little bit like Boost. You know, it is Showtime foam. You know what I mean? So yeah, the overall shoe looks pretty dang cool. This is the Apollo colorway as well, and we also have a different like white, gold, and black colorway too. I definitely don't feel like it looks as good as the AR2, but it looks pretty nice, you know what I mean? So I'm very, very excited about that shoe as well. And then of course we have Anta Thompson was wearing this, the GT Cut 4. This is the preheat colorway. It's supposed to release spring of 2026. So oh my goodness, this shoe looks absolutely freaking terrible. And the upper looks really stiff too. And it looks like it's gonna have a crazy amount of crease marks. So in terms of like the cushion, it looks like it might actually be a drop-in midsole. You know what I mean? And also like that material. Again, it looks like a foam pod. It actually reminds me of the KT7 Elite. You guys remember that? I guess I like the kind of like iridescent glow or like look that the upper has. And they can probably do a lot of different colorways and graphics on this type of upper, but just man, it looks so bad for the design, you know what I mean? And then of course, last but not least, we got the JB4. So Jimmy Butler was seen actually just wearing these, and it looks freaking crazy, guys. Look at that. I mean, this shoe looks freaking stiff. Look at, I mean, that looks like foam, like on the side of the shoe, but hopefully it's not too stiff for the foam, but it's just like encompassing the entire lateral side of the shoe, which is absolutely freaking insane. You know what I mean? So on the entire lateral side of the shoe, that looks like foam, and also cups around the entire heel, kind of acting like, you know, an external heel counter a little bit. In terms of the cushion, I'm not 100% sure what they're using. You know what I mean? The JB1 was using a full-length boom drop-in, which was very, very nice. The JB2 and JB3 weren't using a drop-in. It was just a JB1. So maybe for the JB4, they'll be going back to a drop-in midsole setup, which would be actually very, very nice. I love drop-in midsoles, right? But we're not 100% sure. The upper on top of the foot, like in the toe box, we can see Jimmy Butler's logo, but it looks to be like a pretty nice material. You know what I mean? It doesn't look cheap at all, but yeah, it does look like it'll be pretty stiff. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that, but I mean, Jimmy Butler's shoes have always been very, very supportive, especially on like the upper side. You know, the upper is very, very supportive usually. Like the JB3 was super supportive, so I guess it makes sense. He likes a very supportive feel maybe, but in terms of this, it looks very, very stiff, you know what I mean? So I do like how it looks though. And also on the medial side, look at this. We can see the medial side. We have a picture of it. Holy crap. That entire medial side also is foam, it looks like. So hopefully, again, it's not a super stiff, limiting, like restricting material, you know, but I do have my doubts about that. So anyways, tell us what shoe you're excited about down in the comment section below. I'm pretty much excited about all these shoes, but the most excited I am is the Joker 2, and also I guess the JB4. So anyways, that about concludes this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.